Don't tell her she can't sing her song. It's Claire Bowen and her husband, Brandon Young, their new duo, Bowen Young's first album, Us, out May 3rd. They're our guests today on the Music Universe podcast. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm great. I like how you pretended like you weren't laughing just there as I botched the intro 3 times.
Well, you know, blooper reel.
Blooper reel, end of the year. I have wanted to talk to Claire. Gosh, back when I did Talk for Two, I reached out all the time to try to get her. She's just such a sweet, sweet person.
Oh, very funny too.
Fantastic, and she's very fun. Oh, they're adorable together. They're hysterical. It's very, very funny. So, Bowen Young, the album is Us, and it's out May 3rd. I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah, it's their debut, and it's on Snake Farm. It's a Universal label in London.
Based out of London, she told us.
Yeah, yep. And they do a lot of international touring. Of course, she's from Australia. He's from Connecticut. And they tell this beautiful story of the proposal at the Ryman Auditorium when the Grand Ole Opry was there for the winter, and how they met before that, and what they're doing now, and what's to come as they prep for 2024 and beyond.
Awesome. Well, here now, our interview with Bowen Young.
Bowen Young joining us on the Music Universe. How are you guys?
Really good, thank you.
Wonderful. It's a beautiful day here in Nashville.
Oh, great. Yes, Nashville's a wonderful city. Been there recently, enjoyed the weather, and enjoying the music. I mean, you guys are just pumping out some great songs. You've got a debut album coming out very soon. Tell us about it.
Thank you so much for saying that. We're really excited. Our new album, Us, comes out May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yeah, and we've been on tour. Pretty much. I feel like that's all we've been doing. It's wonderful. We just got back from Australia and had a wonderful reception about the music there. And we're about to head off to London and do some shows in the UK. We're really excited, and we're so happy that the music is being received the way it is.
Yeah, and when you make a record, it's just one of those things where you're sort of in the lab, you're like in a cave writing songs, recording them, and then you go through the whole mix and master process. But, to finally get to that place where it's like, oh, we have a release date and the record's actually going to come out and we're actually going to get to share it with people is, we're just thrilled.
Yeah, and it's on Universal, a label with Universal Music, correct?
That's correct.
Snake Farm Records.
Yep, Snake Farm Records out of London, which is underneath the Universal family.
So this is so cool. You guys, your story is just awesome. I mean, it could be a country song in and of itself. So I'm curious, your journey as a couple and some of those beautiful high-profile moments that have happened on the way to this album, did they inspire any of the music that we're going to hear on May 3rd?
Yep, they did. Actually, Us, the song, which is the title track of the album, is about the night that we met, which was kind of crazy. We met at the Bridgestone Arena. I had my very first solo show outside of the TV show Nashville, so I was pretty nervous. And the person who was supposed to sing with me that night, just to make things more stressful, got stage fright and bailed. So I didn't have a duet partner, and I had to sing in front of 20,000 people, which is a great privilege, but also somewhat nerve-wracking when you only come from a town of 750 people. So I was a little nervous. But some people I was working with said, don't worry, because I had to sing some duets from the show as well as my own music. They said, don't worry, we know this guy. We've wanted you to meet him for ages. He sings beautifully. We want you to write together. We think you'll get along really well. And his name's Brandon. So they gave you a call, right?
Yeah, I was at home. I lived in a little apartment in downtown Nashville, and at that time I was touring with an artist named John Hyatt, who's an American heritage singer-songwriter, and we were getting ready to head back out on the road for a 3-month run of shows. And so I was at home rehearsing, and I got a text message, and it just said, "Stop what you're doing, download this song, and call me." And so it was an odd text, but I did, and I listened to the song and made the phone call. And on the other end of the phone, I heard, "Hey, can you sing that song?" And I said, Yeah. I said, can you kill it? I said, yeah. Great. I need you at the Bridgestone Arena in 48 hours to sing with my client. And I said, Bridgestone Arena, what are you talking about? I said, my client, Claire Bowen, she's got her first big solo show there. We need you to sing that duet with her. And I said, well, I'm leaving at midnight on a bus with John Hyatt. I said, that's going to be really tight. She said, tell me you can make it work. And I said, well, I'll make it work. So I drove to the Bridgestone the night of the show, met Claire in her dressing room for the very first time. We ran through the song twice on acoustic guitar. And then we went out and played it for 20,000 people. And that's the beginning of it all.
And he killed it. It was good.
Is that not a real life episode of Nashville?
I mean, it's pretty close.
Could have been.
I was left there thinking, like, did that really just happen? Or was somebody like, where's Ashton Kutcher? We being punked? It was weird, but so wonderful. And we started writing together as soon as he got back from tour.
Yeah.
And tried very hard not to fall in love, but that didn't work. So here we are.
Here we are.
It's all right. Feels pretty good.
That's
so adorable. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. So tell me about that beautiful proposal at the Ryman. We read about that. That made news. Brandon, the Mother Church, gutsy move.
Yeah, it was. It was a pretty magical night because at a certain point in the year, definitely December, maybe late November, the Grand Ole Opry moves from its now home to its original location at the Ryman. And we were slated to play the early and the late show. So we went to the show. I had the ring in my pocket.
You poor thing.
And, I was nervous. And we played the first show. And then we went up to our dressing rooms. And I had a friend of ours who's an artist write out beautifully the lyrics to our very first song. Yeah, it's actually back on the piano there. The very first song we ever wrote. And
the decoy gift.
I had it wrapped, and it was the decoy gift. So when we got up to the dressing room, I said, I have something for you, and I gave it to her. And so while she was opening that package, I got down on one knee, and when she looked up, I asked her to marry me. And in classic Australian fashion, she said, what do you reckon?
Sorry. He looks at me like, I'm like, yes, Brandon, I'll marry you. Sorry.
So we had a moment, and then we were able to FaceTime our families in Connecticut and in Australia really quickly.
You'd already asked them.
I'd already asked for permission, yeah. And then we went downstairs. We watched Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires play their set. And then we played the second set, and Claire announced, on WSM radio that we had just gotten engaged, and it was a really special night.
Yeah.
No, that's a beautiful story. Now, Claire, did you have any indication that he might do this?
Not that night. It felt like a special evening, but he really covered it up pretty well with the decoy framed lyrics of the first song that we ever wrote together. But we had talked pretty openly about, like, once we knew, and actually there's a song on the record about it called To the Bone, which I can't wait for people to hear. But we were sitting at one of our favorite bars one night looking at each other, and people probably thought we were having a seizure or something because we weren't looking at anyone else. We were just staring into each other's eyes like something's kind of glitched out. And we told each other, like, I don't want to do this without you. I never want to be without you. I don't know. I've never felt like this before. So I'm in. If you're in, I'm in. Even if you're not in, I'm in. And we were like, I'm in. It's cool. So it was a really, really special evening, and it was nice to have, I don't know, be able to chat really openly about it beforehand. But that was a while. Like, you waited, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And you really did surprise me that night.
It's just, I bring up all this personal stuff because it is just a testament to the power of music and what music can do to bring people together.
Yes.
So that's why I think your story is so cute and beautiful and just all of the things, really.
We're kind of disgusting. Thank you.
Well, hey, that's okay. That's what makes it. We did talk to Chip Eston not too long ago.
Nice.
I have to ask. We asked him how he got involved with Nashville, so I have to ask, how did you get involved, being Australian and having to put on an American Southern accent, and just doing the music that you got to perform? How did your involvement come with that series, and did you expect it to last as long as it did?
When I got the script, I was in town. I had just signed with new agents who are still my agents, and I love them so much at Gersh. Um, and I was in town doing ADR for a film that I had just shot in New Mexico. And my agent was like, "You sing?" I'm like, "I guess, yep." And she was like, "Cool." Sent me the script, and I remember standing. I think I went to pick it up at the agency, and I stood at the front desk for like upstairs in the Gersh building and read the entire thing. I think like people were like, "Is she going home yet?" I remember Fred Gersh coming out and being like, "That's the best script that's come out of this pilot season. It's amazing." And I just couldn't put it down. I was like, "Yes, sorry, I'm going home." And I fell in love with this character called Scarlett, and it was my very first pilot season. I had been in the US like, I don't know, a week or something. So this is not something that happens. Like, everyone's journey is different. I was very, very lucky. And so the day of the audition, I learned everything that I needed to learn. Day of the audition rolls around and it rains in California. And apparently when it rains in California, everybody forgets how to drive. So my bus, my bus didn't show up. So I'm like, I barely know how to navigate the public transport system anywhere, let alone in a different country. I'm like, oh no. So I rang my team and I was like, "Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be so late. The bus just did not show up, and I don't know if the next one's going to come, and I don't have enough money for a cab." And they were like, "Just get there. They really want to meet you." Specifically because I had just done Spring Awakening as Vendela Bergman with the Sydney Theatre Company in Sydney, which was artistically directed by Kate Blanchett, and she's the one who told me to come to America. They were like, "They want to meet you because you were Wendler." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I got there. Showed up, I think it was 8 o'clock at night, looking like a drowned rat. And it was a really interesting kind of, like, the whole building was dark, except for like this one security guard was like, "It's that way." And he was obviously there like after. I'm like, "I'm so sorry." He was like, "It's fine. We waited." And there's this light at the end of this very long hallway at Jeannie Bacharach's offices in LA. And I'm like, "Okay, just head towards the light." Went down there and met Jeannie's assistant. They were like, "You want to sing or you want to do the scenes first?" I was like, "I don't care. I can't remember what I did first." And it was weird. Like, more and more people, the longer the audition went on, the more people they invited into the room. And they were like, "Okay, do that again." And they said, like, we need you to come back in the morning to meet T-Bone Burnett and Callie Corey. I was like, ah. So I did, looking less like a drowned rat, which was good, and met them all. And it was a really wonderful audition process. Like, it could have been really scary, and I was definitely nervous, but they were so kind. And within, I don't know, 30 hours, my life completely changed. My agent calls me. She's like, "Well, kid, you booked the gig. You're moving to Nashville." I was like, "Great. Where is that?" And here I am, still here. It was pretty cool.
Which leads to my question, which is, and this was the kind of same thing we talked about with Chip, but he talked about how music had always been a part of his life. As an Australian theater artist, TV performer, did you expect to, as Nashville was going on, that you would become Claire Bowen, bona fide recording artist, music star, touring artist, Bridgestone, 20,000 people? I mean, that's not a trajectory an actor looking for an acting gig expects.
No, I didn't expect it, but at the same time, my life has been very much a series of miracles. Like, I was given 2 weeks to live when I was 4 years old. Like, it's amazing that I'm still here. I think I've outlived 4 life expectancies now. Things are going well. I'm missing a few paces, but it's fine. I'm just like hot rodded. So I was definitely not expecting it, but I guess one of my, I don't know, I wouldn't really call it a philosophy, or just like a way that I was hanging in there, because it wasn't just like nothing to Nashville. It was a whole journey in Australia of a lot of no's and a lot of things that I thought that I really wanted, and I'm so glad that I didn't get, because I never would have gotten here. So I guess my thought was always like, all right, you got to be awesome. There is no option but to be awesome. You have to go in every time prepared. You cannot be late. You cannot be scared. There's no room. There's no time for that, because everybody wants this. And I honestly thought, like when I read Scarlet, I'm like, somebody who's well known is going to get this, and they're going to have the best fun, and I'll be so happy for them. Like I've never had that thing where I get upset about other people getting a role I love, because I'm like, I'm so happy for you. So it was definitely not something I expected, but I did absolutely recognize how blessed I was to have all of this happen to me and for me. So there's not a second of it that I took for granted, and I knew that I had to do a good job, even when it got really scary and there were lots of people staring at me. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's still a wild ride.
Wonderful. And Brandon, I want to ask you before we get out of here. I know we're getting close to time. Obviously, sang together, came together last minute because of the fallout. What was the moment for you that you said, okay, there's a musical partnership here? Obviously, before, as you said earlier, before it became romantic, there's a musical partnership here, and let's explore what a duet could be, what a duo could be.
I think from the very first time that we wrote a song together, when we wrote that first song, it's called Oh Hello, we didn't know when we were writing it that it was a duet. But ultimately, the song was a duet.
Yeah.
And, we have had since come back to the song after we had written it, and Claire said, this is a duet. This is something that I can't sing on my own. We got to sing it together. And the whole idea of the song was true love has been sitting right in front of you, staring in the face, and you didn't even know it was there. So I think, going into co-writing like this, where I was asked to come in and help write an album with Claire, that was a sort of a professional endeavor, and I wanted to be very respectful of that. And so, again, we tried really hard not to fall in love. But going in, we knew very early on that there was a musical chemistry between the two of us. And, the road that takes us where we're meant to go can be pretty windy, and Claire was shooting the television show. She signed a record deal. She put out an album and toured it for 16 months around the world, which I was a part of the tour. I played guitar. I sang the harmonies. I wrote the record with her. But, it was sort of the timing of when the sort of world stopped turning during the pandemic that we realized, okay, I've been a solo artist for years. You've been a solo artist for years. But we really feel like we belong together. And if we're going to do this, we need to do it now. We need to not put it off and really just sink our teeth into it, lean into it. And from that point forward, we just haven't looked back. It was, let's write these songs. And we wrote, 50, 60 songs for this album, that turned into be, a 10-song album or whatever it is. But we knew really early on that this was a collaboration that was, whether it would ever become romantic or not, this was something that worked musically.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's beautiful.
And before we let you guys go, this partnership has seen you guys open for Billy Joel in London last year, and of course your own U.S. headlining tour. And you guys are back for the Highways Festival at Royal Albert Hall in May, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
We're
really
very excited.
Just found out it's sold out. We're like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
Wild.
Amazing. Are you guys planning additional U.S. dates for 2024?
We are. We don't have them solid yet. We're just waiting for a few things because we have things that I film as well to sort of, and we are very lucky to be able to tour internationally. So we're just waiting for a couple of things to drop right into place, and we'll be able to announce really soon because we love our U.S. fans. We have so much fun going overseas and playing for everyone. We're really excited to get back to a U.S. crowd.
That's awesome. I will definitely be there whenever you come out to play in the U.S. I'll tell you, I go all over to see all sorts of music. I have Cody Johnson on Saturday, and then as soon as we're done here, I'm driving out to Baltimore and going to see Fallout.
Oh, wicked! That's so cool.
That'd be
ton of different
love
shows.
that.
So, but no, Bowen Young, this was a fantastic interview. Brandon Young, Claire Bowen, thank you so much and continued success. We really appreciate it. The album is called Us and it's out May 3rd. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
you
Have a
guys.
great day.
Have a beautiful day.
Such an uplifting interview. I just left there with such a smile on my face. And now it's time to get out the door to this week's concerts. So I think we should wrap it here. For the Music Universe podcast, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to check us out at themusicuniverse.com and online at socials at The Music Uni. Take care.